So yes, it's true, we have bought another car. Before we get into that though, I do want to let you guys know that we have sold the BMW E46 320d Touring, which was the first car in the trading up to my dream supercar series. So we are now on to the next one, and I will let you guys know exactly how much I spent on the BMW E46 and exactly how much it sold for, how much profit we made, if any, at the end of the video. So do stick around. Now let's go take a look at the new car. So then, say hello to my 2007 BMW E60 5 Series. And this right here is the cheapest running and driving BMW 5 Series in the country. So first and foremost then, what is it? So we'll take a look around the back, and you'll probably see that there is no model badge, but what we do see is twin exhaust, which means this is a 6-cylinder. This is a BMW 525D. It's an LCI, so it has the 3-litre straight-six M57 engine. And from factory, this is 197 horsepower, but this has already been remapped. And I believe that it's running around 250 brake horsepower, and it's definitely not slow. Now then, how much did I spend on this BMW 525D? Stick around till the end of the video and I'll let you know exactly how much and how much we have to get this thing to full running order and looking its absolute best. But this car was actually brought to my attention from one of my viewers. So Patrick, if you are watching this, big shout out to you. And yeah, I'm gonna get your previous car looking its absolute best and trying to get through any issues that it has. Now, the previous owner did mention that it had an issue when it came to starting, particularly in the colder months. Now, I know what you're thinking straight away. It's more than likely the glow plugs and the glow plug module. But as I did say to the previous owner, I wouldn't think glow plugs would stop the car from working, you know, at all. It wouldn't stop the engine from starting at all. It may just, you know, make the engine run a little bit rough for the first few minutes because you're not getting a complete burn. Obviously the cylinders are not up to temperature, but I wouldn't think it would stop the car from starting at all. So that's when I thought maybe it's an issue with the battery, or it could be something else, maybe something fuel related. So we don't actually know what the issue is yet. I've been driving this car now for about a week or so, and I can honestly say I haven't had an issue with it failing to start yet. But of course we will be going into, you know, any fault codes that the car may have, and we'll go over everything that is wrong with this car, but I'll do that in a whole separate video and go into a lot of depth. So I guess I'll take you guys on a little walk around so you can just see the general condition of the car. To be honest, it's actually in very good condition. You know, bear in mind its age is a 2007, which is an LCI. That's the most important thing. I think the pre-LCI BMW E60 5 Series, they look a little bit dated now, but the LCI, they still look great today. It's in my favorite color as well. I believe this is silver gray. I think space gray is slightly darker than this. This is the same color as my previous BMW E60 520D was, and it has the lip spoiler on as well, so it looks virtually identical, which, yeah, I love that fact. But yeah, straight up we can see that there is a couple of parking sensors on the rear missing. This bumper here is kind of came away, the rear diffuser or rear valance you could probably call it, so it may have had a knock on the rear at some point. You can see the side skirt is pretty badly scuffed, and it's came away again from the sill. It doesn't seem to want to clip in, so I'm guessing that has had a pretty nasty impact at some point. But good thing is though, this damage is only on the side skirt, it's not actually on the door, so should be a relatively simple fix at just, you know, swapping out the side skirt there. But yeah, on the whole, the condition of this car is very decent. It has good premium tyres on, which I'm a fan of. I think the wheels have had a recent wheel refurbishment. They're all in Very, very good condition. One thing that I have noticed though, and it was actually an advisory on the previous MOT, the headlights, they have I don't know if it's a coating on or what it is, but they just need a good flat and polish, I believe, and then yeah, they should be able to, they should come up quite nicely, I believe. So that's one thing I'll look at getting done. Yeah, a couple minor marks, bit of lacquer peel there on the bonnet. It's you know, it's a common thing. I'm guessing it's had a stone chip at some point. The front bumper that's hanging down at the front now, can possibly bend that back and yeah, sort that out nice and easy. But yeah, like I said, on the whole, condition of the car, very, very good. We'll have a look inside. Now, this car has a bit of a strange spec. So for starters, it's a manual, and it's pretty rare to see a manual in a 6-cylinder BMW E60. It has half electric, heated seats, but they are half leather. Like I said, very, very strange spec. It has iDrive, but no navigation. So it has this small screen, which is the Mask 2, I believe. But it does have my favourite wood trim in here. I had this in my previous BMW E60. It's my favourite. It's the rear bench. Don't worry, the rear bench wasn't removed as it is now. I removed that just because I wanted to get more things in here when I had to haul some things around. But yeah, generally in pretty good condition. Let me show you the mileage. So as we can see there, mileage 143,765, which 140,000 miles on an M57 engine. That's low. That's actually very low mileage for one of these. On a 2007, you would expect them to be about 180, 190,000 miles. And you know, if well maintained, these engines are good for at least 300,000 miles. As you can see, straight up we have a few error codes. Like I said, the parking sensors, a couple are missing on the rear, so I'm guessing that's the situation with that. But like I said, yeah, we'll go in, you know, we'll do an in-depth video going over all of the things wrong with this car. We'll go over all of the fault codes and everything else. A good thing to see on the spec of this car though, dual climate control. I've had, this is my third E60 that I've had now. My first one did not have dual climate control, and I realise it's a very, very handy thing to have. So yeah, that's a plus, I guess. I'll pop the bonnet so you guys can see in the engine bay. Yeah, pretty clean and presentable in here. Doesn't look like it's had a clean in a while, but no, you know, major oil stains or anything like that. Can't see any major oil leaks either, which is good. You can see we still have the EGR cooler and EGR valve in place. Whether or not the swivel flaps have been removed, I don't know yet. But yeah, looking pretty good in here for now. We'll take a look in the boot now, but before we do have some scuffs here on the rear bumper. I'm not too sure how much of that is going to come out with a polish. It pretty much carries on all round there. It's not like, you know, too bad, and it is something you would expect on a car that is 16 years old now, but yeah, I'll try and tidy that up if possible. Like I said, we'll open the boot, and again, things are a bit all over the place. This wasn't how it was when I bought the car, but we do not have a spare wheel in this. It was a case of these trim pieces being in place. I guess it's an option to either have those in place or the spare wheel, but not a biggie. You know, of course we can get a spare wheel kit for this if we need one. See what we have in the emergency toolbox. Oh, that's good to see. We even have the original spanner. Usually most of this is missing, but yeah, all looks present to me. Never ever been opened, I'm guessing. That's good. When it comes to the history, there is a huge stack of receipts in here from the past 3 previous owners, I believe. Yeah, the previous owner to this, Patrick, he owned it for about 7 years or so, and he spent a hell of a lot of money maintaining this car. He spent a good few thousand. Anything that needed doing, he got done. But I guess now, once it's got to, you know, an age that it just requires a bit too much money to really put everything right. But hopefully I'm going to be able to do that. Yeah, one way you can usually tell if a car has been well maintained is the brand of the tyres and the wiper blades. So wiper blades are just what I recommend, Bosch, and the tyres, they are Continental Premium Contact 6s, which they're pretty much in line with the Michelin Pilot Sport 4s that I tend to use on all my BMWs. So yeah, you can tell for sure this car has been well maintained and it has had the love that it deserves. But now then, let's head back into the garage and let's go over exactly how much I paid for this thing. Now then, just how much did I pay for the cheapest BMW 5 Series in the country? Before I tell you that elusive figure, let me go over the BMW E46, which of course was the previous car, the first car in this series. Let me tell you how much I spent in total on it and how much it sold for exactly. And let's see if we made any profit. So to begin with then, the BMW E46 was just £500 to buy. When I started this series, I wanted to be very strict. I wanted to stick to a £500 budget for the first car. It proved very, very difficult to get a running and driving car for £500. The BMW E46 kind of ran, but it didn't. It wasn't. You wouldn't say it's driving, but yeah, it was a good place to start, you could say. So £500 to buy. Transporter costs £160. Fuel, that cost £115. We put a new fuel filter on it, that was £16. An in-tank pump, that was £63. A pre-supply pump, that was £111. A glow plug module, not too sure how I got it so cheap, but £44. Then we had to reseal and balance 2 of the wheels, that was £35. A rear micro switch, that was £10. Oil filter, £8. Oil, £20. Rear shock absorbers, £80. Another rear micro switch, the first one was faulty, £10 though for that. Then we had a new key, we bought a new key for it, that was £13. Then we had it cut, that was £20. We bought a dye kit. I don't think I actually shown this, but I re-dyed the steering wheel, made it look a hell of a lot better, that was £5. Then we had to take it for an MOT, that was £40. A wheel alignment, again £40. So in total we spent £1,290. Now I know probably what you're thinking, you replaced a whole bunch of more parts than that, didn't you? And yes, you would be right. So we swapped out also glow plugs, front control arm kit, downpipe, you know, which contained the cat, gearbox oil, rear diff oil, and of course a gear knob. But all those parts were sent to us by companies. Now if it wasn't for those companies, then we would have made a loss on this project for sure. And I'm sure we probably would have spent £1,600 plus, possibly. But I'm pleased to announce we did make a profit on this project, a very slim profit, it is to say. And you know, if you was to do this as a living, of course it wouldn't be worth your time. But we managed to sell the car to the first person that came to view it for £1,495. Now, what does that mean then? Well, I've decided on this series, whatever the car sells for, I'm not going to take any money out of it, you know, I'm not going to take the profit out of it or anything. I'm just going to plow all of that money into the next project. So that means I have to buy the next car and fix it up for the total amount that I sold the previous car for. So £1,495 is the total budget for this BMW E60 525D. Now then, the figure you are probably most interested in hearing is how much did I pay for this BMW E60 525D? I paid just £650. Now, I know what you're thinking, that is an absolute steal, which, yes, it absolutely is. BMW 525D, M Sport, LCI as well, that is an absolute steal. However, it's a big risk because we really do not know how much we need to spend on it. We may have to spend thousands on it. You know, it is just a risk. You know, we really do not know. However, I think it's worth the risk. It's a lot of car for the money, and I'm looking forward to it. Let me know if you guys are looking forward to it as well. I do have a couple of things, you know, rough ideas what I want to do to the car, and I do have a rough idea of how much things are going to cost, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, the next video you will see is everything that is wrong with that car, and we will give it a complete scan with ISTA-D. I haven't done that yet, so we could be greeted with 100 fault codes. I really do not know. But like I said, let me know if you guys are excited to see this project. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. Please give this one a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, and I will see you all in that next one.